Hey guys, really quick, wanted to do a post today to all the marketers in the world, now to everybody. I'm going to talk to leaders, marketers, and really anybody in terms of how to grow in your career. One of the things that I love about Gary Vaynerchuk, and if you're a marketer, he is one of the names that I throw out. So if you're in marketing and I come into your company and we do a brand audit together and we look at your social and we look at everything that you're doing from culture to training, I will say to you, hey, what do you think about Gary Vaynerchuk? Or I'll say, hey, what do you think about the book Crushing It? Or hey, have you watched a Gary webinar, seminar recently, or watched any of his posts? And if you look at me with a glazed look like I have no idea who that is, that'll be a big red flag. That's the first red flag, because, and it's not because I love Gary Vaynerchuk, but you don't have to. You can hate him, and a lot of people don't like him, and that's fine. But you have to know who he is if you're in that field, because you have to know who the thought leaders and teachers and leaders are in the field that you're in. It's like a leadership coach saying they don't know who John Maxwell is. I mean, mind blown. How do you know? If you're in any kind of an executive position, you should know who John Maxwell is. And I point to my bookshelf like you can see it. It looks crazy. But, you know, I've got all the John Maxwell books quite literally in front of me, but it's a leadership coach going, I don't know who that is. That's a problem. So if you're in marketing, you need to keep going. You need to understand what personal branding is. You have to build a personal brand of your employees in person and online, because their brands are now going to be more important than ever, because we're not all going back to work. So online networking, online marketing, by building the personal brands of your employees, a big deal. You have got to stop posting content like for everybody. If you're an association in particular and you're trying to raise money and build sponsors and bring money in, you cannot keep doing this content posting, this big content. You've got to start doing context. I am narcissistic like most people are when it comes to their time, in particular executives. They want to see things that meet their needs, that solve their problems, or give them value, versus reading everything that you do or watching every video. Okay, so you're going to need to post context. I was going to go in, hey, you need words over every video, but I'm like, look, I could talk about a million things. Let's talk about what you should be posting in terms of context. I digress constantly, but in terms of context, you're going to need to start posting things directly for people who are in your target market, and you're going to need to know who those are. It never ceases to amaze me at companies that, you know, some companies are like, I'm not really sure who our target demographic is. It's really everybody. Not true. You should get your top 5 and then start posting context posts toward them. Start solving their pain points. Start calling them out and saying, hey, this is what you need. This is where you're in pain. This is what we can solve. Marketing is so much more than just slapping something up on social. You need a strategy. You need to be able to communicate to your entire audience, but not all at the same time. And for you marketers out there, you've got to keep growing. You've got to know who the leaders are. You've got to watch webinars. You have to figure out what's going on with social. From 98 to 2008, you know, things changed in 10 years. You're getting 10-year changes now in 6 months in marketing and how it's done and building brands. And again, I always say that, you know, brand is the umbrella for everything. Brand drives everything, leads everything, guides everything. So as a marketer, you've really got to understand how to build personal brand. You've got to understand how to build brand. That's why I talk about Gary Vaynerchuk. These are the things he talks about all the time. He just yesterday watched a seminar, and he said, or a session that he did, and he said, look, you know, someone asked him, will one platform change? And, you know, is there any way to, you know, make myself not fall prey to one platform going away? And he's like, no, there's nothing you can do, but you can build brand on that platform. You share value, you build brand, you build that equity. And so if the platform just eventually goes away, which it might, they're going to find you on other platforms. It's not about likes or followers, it's about brand building. So as a marketer, if you're not into brand 1,000,000%, the fall will come, the failures around the bend. You cannot just post on social and think this is enough. It's not enough. So I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to say know who the thought leaders are. I'm here to say continue to read, continue to learn. Every week you need to set aside time to do that. If you're a leader of a company, you're going to need to allow and encourage your marketing team, communications team, PR team, whatever it is that you call them, branding team, I hope, to do that, because that's one of the most important things that they can do. So I hope this encourages you. If you have questions, call me, DM